And we are recording.
Well, welcome to the Ohio Distance Learning Association's Content Content Provider Showcase. Wow, I'll get that right. Third time doing this. Welcome, high school educators. We're going to get started in about 1 minute with an intro from Dave Stein, and we're going to run through our program. So I'm Tom Miller, and I'll be back a little bit later to talk about Cleveland Clinic's programs. But why don't I go ahead and hand it over to Dave. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Tom. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dave Stein, current chair of the Ohio Distance Learning Association. We appreciate you all being with us. Before we hand it over to the first presenter, I am going to share a couple of plugs with you from the Ohio Distance Learning Association. First of all, the DLA, we've been around as a state chapter of the USDLA for 8 years now. We are a group of distance learning experts around the state. We've got a lot of great content providers, a lot of schools and educational support agencies, and we we have an option now for free participants. So if you're interested, you want to learn more about the DLA, please check out our website. And here's a link. We are currently working on a very exciting project with the Management Council of the Ohio Education Computer Network to rapidly expand cloud-based video conferencing statewide. We've got a 5-year initiative with Zoom, and we're able to offer greatly reduced pricing for Zoom Pro licenses and Zoom Rooms licenses. And actually, here's a few more details. Normally, the price is $15 a month for a Pro license. So through this program, it's $10 a year. If you are an educator with the school, you can contact your local ITC for an account. Again, the program is being offered through CDWG. Brad Huffman is the contact, and there is his email address. So the current price there, that is for a Zoom panel. That's a 55-inch touchscreen system that runs Zoom Room software, and the Zoom Rooms license is $250 a year. But if you have any more questions, please feel free to contact your local ITC. They have those panels at the ITC, so you can go in for a demonstration. All right, well, with no further delay, I'm going to turn it over to Jerry Shockey from the Pro Football Hall of Fame as soon as I figure out how to stop sharing my screen. Okay, Jerry, take it away. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. I appreciate you guys here today, and I just want to welcome you guys to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. My name is Jerry Shockey. I'm the Director of Youth and Education here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and you know, we're excited. We're gearing up for Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, all kinds of different stuff. I'm actually flying to Orlando tomorrow, and we got a whole bunch of staff going out. We're announcing the new class. If you guys saw on national TV, we just surprised Jimmy Johnson and Bill Cowher on national TV when that big old 6'9", 400-pound man came out and surprised people. That's our president, David Baker, who's a big man but even bigger heart. But here at the Hall of Fame, you know, we got obviously we offer a wide variety of video conferencing programs here, just like all the other content providers all across, not only in the state of Ohio, but all across the country. But we are kind of biased here in Ohio because we really do. It's not only because we love our state and love all the content providers here, but Ohio really does have some of the best, if not the best content in the country and in the world. It really is. I mean, from the Cleveland Museum of Art to Cosig, I mean, I could just go across the board with all these Ohio History Connection. I mean, just all these great content that's all across the state of Ohio that schools all across the country and all over the world take advantage of are right here in the backyard, in this backyard. So again, we're no different than many other content providers. We follow kind of that three-pronged approach: pre-materials, program, post materials. So let me go ahead and share screen here. You're going to see our video conferencing pop up here. And so probably the best way to just do this, just to show you this video.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame offers award-winning video conferencing programs for schools all across the world. The use of video conferencing technology allows students from across the globe to connect with the Hall of Fame to learn more about pro football's rich history and the values of the game. Like the Pro Football Hall of Fame's field trips, these programs are aligned with Common Core and national standards of education. The Hall of Fame's video conferencing program has received international recognition as a 9-time Pinnacle Award winner through the Center for Interactive Learning and Collaboration. You can connect to the Hall of Fame through traditional video conferencing systems or via Zoom, which only requires a PC or Mac, webcam, microphone, external speakers, and an internet connection. The best part of these video conferencing programs, they are free of charge thanks to our great partners at Extreme Networks. You can now bring the excitement of America's most popular sport and the Pro Football Hall of Fame to your students without even leaving your classroom. Want to learn more and register your classroom for one of these great opportunities? Contact the Youth and Education Department today at education@profootballhof.com.
Okay, all right. And so we can go on and just kind of show you some of the different programs to choose from. You know, we do programs. Obviously, we're a history language arts museum, so history and language arts is our strong suit. But we have programs we do in careers. But careers is by far the most popular program that we offer here. And I'll give you an example of that. African American Trailblazers with Black History Month coming up. We do programs on art, visual art, media in the NFL. Movement and motion, math and football, so all kinds of different curricular areas. But I just want to focus in on one particular today that you would see if you were to connect in with us here today. Is it, you know, our programs are designed just like anybody else's to be highly interactive. So it's not just a talking head that's up here, but you know, so we have prezzies for each of these programs. We can go through and share a variety of information with them. So our mission, vision, values. But if we go on, I can show you that one of the things we talk about is obviously careers in the NFL. It's those jobs other than being a pro athlete. And so, especially when we get into, you know, the middle school, high school age, we're dealing with high school educators here today. But middle school and high school, they get a little bit more realistic, but there's still good to throw those statistics out there that you can see there. The two most popular jobs, obviously, are players and coaches. And there's millions of reasons why. It's because they're seen by millions and they make millions. But the fact of the matter is that, first of all, even if you are good enough to make it in the NFL, the average career length is only 2.5 years, according to the Houston Chronicle, an article that was done in there last year. But even if you are good enough, not a whole lot of people want to put in the time that it takes to get to that level. And you can see an example of that here. John Harbaugh, the coach of the Baltimore Ravens, you know, how dare I put a Baltimore Ravens person in a Prezi with a bunch of Ohio people, but you know what, you're gonna have to deal with it. You know, this is a schedule. Look at that, 5:50 a.m. to 11:30 at night. And he sleeps at the office. And this is actually an ESPN article that went through day by day throughout the season with John Harbaugh. And he works 100, 110, 120 hour weeks. And players aren't that far behind it with the amount of hours they put in. So a lot of kids want to be a pro athlete or be a coach or something cool like that. Not a whole lot of people want to put in the work that it takes and the hours it takes to get to that level. So we see the glory element of it on Sundays, you know, from 1 to 4 or 4 to 7 or you know, prime time, Sunday night football, Monday night football, Thursday night or whatever. But what we don't see are the Monday through the Saturday that it took to prepare for that Sunday. And so you can see that there. So what we do is highlight the other jobs out there. So statistics, especially for younger people, according to the NC2A back in 2018, it's a little over 1 million high school football players that year. There are 256 draft picks that year. If you take those two numbers, you get that bottom number, which is 0.02%, which is 2 in 10,000 or 1 in every 5,000 high school players. So if your high school football program has 50 players that year it would take 100 of your high schools and you might have one person making the NFL. That's how difficult it is. And even at that, the average NFL career is only 2.5 years. So obviously you're going to be unemployed by the time you're 24 and a half. And especially with the young people, we say we don't want to dash people's dreams, but in some ways we do a little bit because it is that difficult to make it into the NFL. But what's really cool about working with high school students like today that we're connecting with as high school educators is that we can really in depth with the high schools. You know, we can go in a lot more depth with these. And so we have videos that were done by the San Francisco 49ers that interviews 5 particular careers within their organization. Goes to their background, their education, what they love most about their job, how to get a job in those areas, you know, those kind of things. So there's all kinds of resources that we have that I can skip over and just show you. Here's football operations, for example.
My main job responsibilities, I oversee the day-to-day operations for the 49ers. So what that entails is...
So a lot of people wouldn't realize that guy's responsibility is the coordination of travel. For the teams, you know, so, you know, and there's a whole group of people that come under the operations side of things. So the 49ers, it wasn't in this video, but the same guy did a video for us 5 years ago when we did this with the 49ers as well. They updated every 4 or 5 years for us. They book about 200 rooms when they travel. So it's really amazing. You know, you don't think about the food, you don't think about the transportation, the buses, the meeting rooms, all those things that have to be taken care of that the coaches and players don't need to worry about because they're focused on a game. Well, there's a whole team of people that are behind the scenes making those arrangements for them. We can see other examples. We have, if we went through the media guides, we could show you some more obscure jobs. We went through these media guides and pulled out obscure jobs. You know, the Ravens have a seamstress, the Browns have an art director, the Cowboys have a mailroom coordinator. They actually have like 4 people that work in their mailroom that are coordinators. So there's just so many jobs that are in and around these NFL teams. What's really neat is we can go to, and so today I actually went into the Browns media guide, and what this is typically they're about, let me see how long this one is. This is 533 pages of information about the Cleveland Browns. It's something the teams put out for the media. And so it's so media, when they're doing their stories and articles and things like that, they can get the history, stats, current stuff, anything they want to know about the team for their article, for their broadcast, whatever it is they need to prep for, they can do that in here. So the teams don't have to field all these questions. What's really cool about the staff directory is that it is actually, or it's cool about the media guys that actually gives a staff directory. So you can zoom in on all these different jobs that are in and around these teams. And so we can look at the media guide and kind of scroll back. Football operations, you can see community relations, corporate partnerships, ticket sales. I mean, look at how many pages are of jobs with these teams. So it's really an amazing amount of people that work in and around these NFL teams, and so many jobs behind the scenes. The last thing I want to just touch on is that we close out with, and especially with the high school students, it's a great thing we do. These are current job openings in the NFL. Not all of them, but some of them. So whether it's for your students or whether your teachers are looking to get out of public education, here you go. If you want to go into sports, here's your ticket out. These are all the job openings that you can actually apply for. So let's look at media partnership manager for the LA Rams. And you can actually go into, your students can actually go into what it requires of them, what skills and abilities are needed. And this one doesn't give quite as a detailed one as we did the other day, but you can go through here and look at that. And what you'll find is that most of these, if we look at them, let me see if I can find one. Let me just click on one here. Let's see, activation manager. Let's look at that. So for the Rams, so activation manager, we can scroll down, and most of these, what you'll see, many of these, is you'll see it says bachelor's degree required. And so most of these jobs require at least a 4-year degree. Obviously, some of them very specific degrees, but a lot of the general business jobs, they don't even today even specify that you need business administration or sport marketing or something like that, that you just need to have a 4-year degree with experience to back that up. And so with high school students, we can get into more depths, because if they're especially junior seniors looking at colleges, we can recommend college and universities if they want to go into sport business. What are some of the best programs out there across the country? And so those just one example of the many programs we have here. So with that being said, I've thrown a lot of info at you in a little bit of time. We are going to send that over to, I don't know who's from Ohio History, if it's Matt or not, but I don't see him on the screen, but we'll throw it over to Ohio History Connection. Oh, Matt, I do see you there. And so we'll turn things over to him.
Thank you, Jerry. My name is Matt Schulich. I am the Virtual Learning Experiences Coordinator here at the Ohio History Connection, and just want to share some options and programming we have available for high school classes. So give me just a second, going to share my screen here. Going to start off with our game shows. We offer a couple of different game shows. Get into the specifics of those here in a second. We have versions of our game shows for elementary, middle, and high school students. The questions we use are specifically developed for, in your case, high school audiences. Kind of set up like a Jeopardy-style game show experience. We have a teacher break a class up into 3 teams, and those teams jump around from team to team, taking turns to answer questions. And we found that this is, over the years, that teachers really like this as a good way to do an assessment before they address a topic or as a review piece. As I mentioned, recommended for 4th through 12th grade. And we can cater the time of the game show to whatever class period you have. If you only have a half hour with a class, we can make the game show a half hour long. If it's a little longer, we can stretch it out more. So there's quite a bit of flexibility with the time of the game shows. So our most popular game show we offer is So You Know the U.S. Government. And in recent months, we have gone through a pretty extensive update of the program, came up with all new categories, all new questions. Government, if you look at the content standards for government for high school, you're going to find that a lot of these categories match up with that. Our round 1 categories, we're getting to the foundation of American government. and the basic structure of government, the 3 branches of government. Round 2 categories, we're hitting some state and local government, civil rights issue, and then for the high school groups, we have a category that addresses the process of a bill becoming a law. And then here's just an example of what a question in the high school version looks like. This is a question from the I'm a bill category about the process of a bill becoming a law. I don't have it in this presentation, but there's all kinds of game show sound effects and stuff that we use. So in this case, you know, we're asking about after a bill's been signed by the president, it becomes law if it's not signed within what period of time while Congress is in session. A team would have about 15 seconds to answer. And in this case, that answer is 10 days. With 2020 being an election year, so you know the election game show has come back. Once again, in recent months, we've gone through and completely updated the program, updated the categories, question content. And so, you know, the election, we're getting at all the different aspects of elections, some trivia about former presidents, questions about the voting process, numbers associated with elections. Round 2, we're getting into questions about the campaigns, political parties, know your role. That shouldn't be civil rights issues. That's just basic government responsibilities that people have, and candidates addresses voter requirements and responsibilities. So an example of a question for the election game show, looking back at the 2016 election, which of the following was not a traditionally blue state that voted red in the presidential election? It's kind of hitting at what we experience in this part of the country. So the 4 states listed have been traditionally blue states, but which one of them did not go red in 2016? And the answer's Illinois. So we put the, before I hit the next program, we put the election game shows together because we kind of found out there wasn't a whole lot of content out there in connection with elections for students. So it's a good way to raise students' awareness about elections. And all of our programs come with a packet that contains pre and post activities. And a lot of that information in the pre and post activities is working to raise students' awareness, especially the high school students, of voter requirements and responsibilities, because we're hoping that, you know, these kids later in life become voters. So let me jump ahead here. Our next program is by far our most popular program, and that is Can She Trust You? Once again, this is a program for 4th through 12th grade. We cater our presentation depending on the grade level of students that we're connected with. And basically the premise of Can She Trust You? Your students are meeting 5 residents of an 1860s era Ohio village. And these are the 5 characters they meet during the program. And these are actual live folks that they're interacting with. They're not video clips or anything, everything's live. And through inquiry-based learning skills, they're trying to determine which one of these 5 individuals is a conductor on the Underground Railroad. And we take turns of which one of these 5 people is the conductor. That especially comes in handy if we're working with a school, then we're doing multiple classes at that school. As I mentioned, students are using their inquiry-based learning skills to figure out who the conductor is. We've really discovered that we're able to hit the moral and social struggles associated with the anti-slavery movement at the time through first-person interpretation. Nowadays, we look back on the Underground Railroad, and you know, the majority of us would probably say, like, yeah, we'd help out. But back in 1860, it wasn't such an easy decision to make. There was a lot of risk involved with that, both economic, social, moral. So the premise of that program is just really making students aware of the climate of the time. As I mentioned, this is for 4th through 12th grade, and program generally runs about 45 minutes. And these are the objectives on the program. Like I mentioned, we really want to highlight the role that Ohio has played in the anti-slavery movement in the Underground Railroad. We have a significant role in that, and addressing just those different perceptions of the anti-slavery movement at the time. And the last one here, just helping kids really recognize that, you know, all of us have an impact on history. You don't have to be a really noteworthy recognized person to have an influence on history. People of all ages can have an impact on making history. Last slide here is just some general housekeeping stuff. All of our programs are available year-round on demand, whether it be May, June, whatever, anytime during the year. Our peak season does tend to be April and May, so if you're looking at doing a program around then, definitely recommend getting a request in as soon as possible, since that's our busy time of the year. Typically ask for about 2-week notice on programs, and we do all of our scheduling through the CILC website. If you're not familiar with CILC, they're basically like the go-to resource for distance learning content, whether it be point-to-point programs, collaboration opportunities, daily classes, just anything and everything distance learning. I definitely recommend checking them out. Then as far as invoicing goes, we typically bill folks after the program. And if you have any questions about our program schedule, anything, there's our info up on the screen. Our website's ohiohistory.org/DL, and you can reach us at dl@ohiohistory.org. And I'm going to stop sharing. And at this point, I'm handing things over to InfoOhio.
Okay, well, thank you. My name is Mary Rowland, and I am really happy to be here with you today, sharing the InfoOhio resources for both you and your students. So first of all, a little bit about InfoOhio. InfoOhio transforms student learning by offering 4 major services. We license a collection of instructional content selected to support Ohio's learning standards at no cost to Ohio schools. We develop free web-based instructional tools to help your students learn and grow. And InfoOhio provides cost-effective professional development to support Ohio's pre-K-12 educators. We also support an integrated library automation system for more than 2,200 Ohio schools, and we serve more than 1.1 million students statewide. So in 2018, InfoOhio introduced a new website designed to be much easier to find what you need for both you and your students. With geolocation added to our site, users in Ohio are automatically logged in using a statewide username and password or with your school's login. So if your device does not automatically authenticate, you can choose the button up in the top left corner to look up your school's username and password. And if you ever have any difficulty logging in, please contact support.infohio.org, where our staff can assist you so that you can access our resources. And you can navigate our website by using the main menu or the hamburger menu up in the top right corner. And from there, a drop-down menu will appear. And you can search for resources by grade level. So when the website was redesigned, it was really designed to make it easier for you to find what you need in just 1 to 3 clicks. So this is the grades 9 through 12 page for our 9 through 12 audience. And each grade band page features a description of the resource plus an I button. The I button is an information button, and it will direct you to more information about the product or the resource, including training and support options for that resource. So after selecting the I button, this is what you'll see. The information page looks like this. You can see that under training and support, there are links to help you as a teacher integrate the resource into the classroom. And if you click on the open button, it will take you directly to the resource. So let's take a look at Worldbook Advanced. So our licensed digital content includes Worldbook Advanced. Worldbook Advanced is an online encyclopedia for students in grades 9 through 12. And using a simple keyword search, students can access ebooks, videos, articles, and primary sources all from one spot. For teachers, the educator section of Worldbook Advanced offers the ability for you to narrow your search for content by Ohio learning standards. And here you can also find web quests that are designed to help you and support your classroom content. So I conducted a simple keyword search for cells, and here is the article page. So there are a few enhanced features provided in Worldbook Advanced that suit the age and the text complexity of the adolescent learner. So the read aloud feature is easily accessible by clicking on the ear icon. Students can adjust the speed and the gender of the voice. By clicking on the gear icon, students can access the tools and setting menu. And just similar to Worldbook Student, students have the option to save and share their resources. They can email their resources, email this article directly to themselves, or they can also save it to using Google Drive. As a teacher, you can share this article with your students using the Google Classroom button. Worldbook articles can also be translated into over 100 different languages. So here from the tools and setting menus, you can see there's a translate option. Students can also adjust the text size of this article to suit their needs. And across the top, students can access images, videos, audio, and other resources related to their topic. InfoOhio also offers web tools for students. And one such tool is Go, Ask, Act, Achieve. And this tool is designed to help students in grades 4 through 10 learn the inquiry process by providing digital tools, resources, and strategies. So Go is student focused, and it's really designed to be a tool that students can go to if they need help when they're working on a research project or working through that inquiry process. So updates to Go include additional student resources that have been converted to Google Docs. And these resources include graphic organizers and templates that support note-taking, research, inquiry, and project planning skills. After clicking on the Google Doc icon, students will be forced to make a copy of that graphic organizer. And the student copy looks like this. And here students can edit, they can revise, they can add their notes. It saves directly to their Google Drive, so there's no reduced chance of them losing this document. Or as a teacher, you can make a copy of this document, and again, you can share it with your students using Google Classroom. So InfoOhio also offers web tools for educators. Educator Tools is powered by InfoOhio and now includes more than 70,000 teacher-approved lesson plans, best practices, and other instructional materials from the Novation Content Collection. And these materials are designed to support personalized learning, project-based learning, and the inquiry process. These resources have been teacher tested and approved, and many are aligned specifically to the Ohio learning standards. So here I've done a search for solve two-step word problems. You can see my keyword search up here in the search bar. So to locate resources in educator tools like lesson plans, you can type some search terms in that box, just as I've done in this example, or you can use the limiters off to the left. And then if you see a resource that looks useful, click on the I button or that more info button, and you'll be taken to a page that looks like this. So the information page will show you the standards alignment, and you can see that this resource is aligned to the standards off to the left. You can also find an LMS direct resource link. So if you're using an LMS other than Google Classroom, you'll use the LMS direct link to take your students directly to this Khan Academy resource. If you're using Google Classroom, you can simply click on the Google Classroom button and share this resource with your students. Back to our search page. So if you find an item that you like, you can click on the heart in the lower left-hand corner. Doing this saves the item for the session. And then if you click on the heart icon up at the top left corner of the page, you can send your saved resources to your email. So again, clicking on the little heart icon saves the resource just for this session. And when you click on that heart up at the top left corner, you can email these resources directly to your inbox. Finally, InfoOhio offers free, high quality, on-demand professional development that teachers can use in their classrooms. So visit InfoOhio.org info.ohio.org/campus, and you'll find some old favorites here, like our Learn with InfoOhio webinar recordings, and you'll find our newest training option, the InfoOhio Learning Pathways. InfoOhio Learning Pathways are designed to give you options. You can take a pathway or you can take a class and earn contact hours. Pathways are made up of individual classes. These classes focus on integrating InfoOhio tools and digital content into your classroom. So option number 1, you can take a class or 2 to fit your professional development needs, or option 2, you can take the entire pathway. Classes range from 1 to 3 hours, and they're available for contact hours upon completion. Classes are ready to use. There's no registration required. They're designed to be flexible, personalized, and trainer-friendly. Lessons explore both the technical and instructional aspects of the digital resource. So for example, this class on Educator Tools is worth 2 contact hours, and it's perfect if you want to learn more about how to use Educator Tools to find standards-aligned lesson plans and resources for your classroom. And we have more pathways coming soon. So we have a 612 digital content pathway that's coming soon. So if you're interested in maybe learning more about Worldbook Advanced or some of our other popular 612 resources like Points of View Reference Center or I Wonder, the 612 pathway will fit your needs quite nicely. So again, my name is Mary Rolland. I'm an instructional team specialist with InfoOhio. Thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, please let us know. You can contact us at support.infoohio.org. And next up is the Cleveland Clinic.
Thanks, Mary. I'm Tom Miller. I'm with the Cleveland Clinic. Mary, if you want to close your stop sharing, then I'll jump into my session. Thank you so much. All right. I'm Tom Miller. I'm with the Cleveland Clinic K-12 education programs, and I am here to tell you today about our connected learning programs. These are free programs that we offer to high schools. They are focused on health and wellness, career preparedness, and academic achievement. And we have several programs that I'm going to run through today. Our first is our Worldwide Classroom. And our Worldwide Classroom is a live interactive experience for students. We focus on both health topics and also careers. Our hot topics sessions generally are aligned to different issues in health, everything from wellness, diabetes, obesity, and actually we have a new session coming up in April where we're actually going to focus on vaping, which has been a big request from a lot of the schools that participate for us. We also feature different caregivers. Everybody at Cleveland Clinic is a caregiver, but we focus on different careers, everything from surgeons, which are the crowd favorites of most of the schools that join us. But we also focus on entry-level positions at Cleveland Clinic, as well as positions in areas that you probably didn't know existed in healthcare or just didn't think about. For example, we're going to be featuring health IT in April as well, which will allow students to see themselves in healthcare settings, but also if you're a computer scientist, if you're a data analyst, if you are coder, website designer, every one of those jobs is available at Cleveland Clinic, and actually multiple jobs at Cleveland Clinic. So also the Worldwide Classroom is interactive. There are interactive polls that we do pre and post to find out what students know about and what they learn about the program during the session. We also use different technologies to run game shows or quizzes. We've had students then, of course, also get to see videos of different procedures, one being Dr. Modlin up in the top right corner, or top left corner. He is a world-renowned kidney surgeon, and he actually takes the students through kidney replacement surgery. You see him removing the old kidney, you see him putting in the new kidney. It is very, very close up. It's basically his view, and very, very exciting program. He also talks about all the supports that he has in an operating situation. explains all the different careers from the anesthetists all the way through the people who clean the OR and their role in making sure that he's successful in those kidney transplant surgeries. We also, in our worldwide classroom, it's a free program. It's rolling, open enrollment. So if you wanted to join and see all of them or just one of them, we welcome you to do that. The majority of the schools that join our worldwide classroom are career centers, especially for the surgeons. And those are students that are in allied health programs. We also have a lot of science teachers, guidance counselors who are focused on careers, as well as general education teachers who are just like, this is great stuff. My students want to learn about health. We have a few coming up, as I mentioned, in February. We can take a break we do have one in March, but we tried to adjust to spring break schedules, etc. But in general, the majority of our programming happens between September and December of each school year. We front load most of the programs. We're almost every Tuesday from the beginning of September all the way through, and that's where we highlight the majority of the surgeons and the other specialists, physical therapists, etc. And we have 2 more hot topics coming up. Actually, I'm sorry, 3, because we are adding a session on vaping, which will be also April 7th is the tentative schedule. We also have a program if you have students that are in grade 8. It's a middle school program, but we know some high schools actually, or schools have more than just a high school program. The Adventures in Health Science and Medicine is for middle school students, grades traditionally 6 through 8, who are taken through a case study where they follow a student and try to diagnose what's going on with the student. They meet over 19 different healthcare professions throughout the program. Some are live and some are on a case study video. And then the students culminate with a experience where they are designing an innovation and judging each other throughout the schools. That's a spring program. We usually start enrollment in October, and there's 16 slots, and we have schools from a variety of states now that are participating in that program. And our Expressions program is a program where students interpret Cleveland Clinic research, and they interpret that into art, language, and math program expressions. This program has been around since 2005. We generally have between 1,000 and 1,500 students that participate each year. The students go to our website and they pull up research on diabetes, obesity, infant mortality, the opioid crisis, and they read that research and then interpret it into different projects based on their expression. So we have students that will do sculptures or jewelry or paintings. We have other students who will write poems or create videos or interpretive dances, very, very expansive. And then in the math category, they do amazing work with maybe data analysis. And last year, one of the award winners in math actually took the information about a hand hygiene compliance issue at Cleveland Clinic and turned it and interpreted it into a mathematical calculation that went back to like Euclidean geometry. It was very impressive. And there's a lot of creativity in this program. Generally, the program starts we register teachers in August. Students turn their submissions in by November, mid-November, and then we have a judging period and an exhibition, which is in February. Again, this is another free program for Cleveland Clinic. We have teachers, art teachers, math teachers, science teachers, all kinds of teachers that are involved in this program. And the students, you can have one student from your school do it, or you can have a whole class. You can have every student in an entire grade level do it. It's up to you in terms of how you want to approach that program. We also have a program that's very specific to high school. It's we ask that you have a team of 4 students, and they participate in the Cleveland Clinic's Medical Innovation Summit. We have 2 webinars prior to the summit where the students go through and learn about innovations in health science, and then they are tasked with reviewing the competitors that are in a startup Shark Tank-like experience at the Innovation Summit, and they try to predict who will be the winner. And actually 2 years ago, we had a school that predicted the winner out of 30 different startups in medical innovations. It was very impressive. So this is a great experience. The students actually come to the Global Center for Health Innovation down in downtown Cleveland and participate in the summit. We pay for lunch, we pay for their parking, we get them there. Usually it's a teacher as a chaperone and then the 4 students, and they get to then experience the Medical Innovation Summit for the entire day, and they participate as judges in this judging innovation, the Shark Tank-like activity. So it comes on very quick at the beginning of the school year because the Medical Innovation Summit's the first week in October. So the scheduling for that, you'll see a save the date that we send out in May, and then the program starts usually the second week of September, so we can get all the webinars in, and then the students have time to prepare a persuasive essay. But again, a small team, really great experience. We'll be going on year 3 with that this year. And that's it. That's our Cleveland Clinic Connected Learning Experiences. All of our programs are free and available to any school that can connect to us. Obviously, judging innovation, you do need to be able to get your students to the Cleveland, downtown Cleveland on the first day of the Medical Innovation Summit, but otherwise, all of our programs can be done through Zoom webinars. We appreciate your time, and I'm going to hand it back to myself because our friends from Cosig could not be here today, but they did share with us a video. And so let me go ahead and get their video teed up. And then from there, we will also then get a video from the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. So here we go. Cosig, great program. And here's their video on their program offerings.
Hello from Cosig's interactive video conferencing team. With Cosig's interactive video conferencing programs, you can bring hands-on learning right to your students without ever needing to leave your classroom. Our career connections are designed to bring Cosig right to your classroom in middle school or high school. If your students are interested in going to the medical field, we have amazing opportunities for you. You can get a surgeon's point of view with our Surgical Suite Total Knee Replacement and Surgical Suite Sports Medicine programs.
All right, well, welcome. This is Dr. Bishop from Ohio State, the Ohio State University. This is our Jamison Crane Sports Medicine Center. And we're here today to do a shoulder arthroscopy. So we want to welcome all of the different students from all the different high schools into our OR.
These are live surgeries where your students can ask questions to the entire surgical team in the OR as they complete a case in real time for your students.
So a little bit about today's patient. He is 43 years old. He's very active. And the main thing that he enjoys doing is triathlons.
I'm feeling, and I can feel that biceps tendon right underneath me. And I'm going to bring in our cautery tool. And you can see that red stripe. I'm going to close it so it doesn't bleed on me as too much.
We also offer an in-depth autopsy and in-depth kidney transplant program where the students are taken along in a live narration of a case.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today as we go through this autopsy presentation. My name is Sophia and I am a third-year pathology resident at Ohio State. I went to Youngstown State University in Ohio where I got my bachelor's degree in biology. I then went to medical school at Northeast Ohio Medical University in Rootstown, Ohio, where I got my medical degree. Now that we've removed all of the organs from each other, we can do the organ dissection. This always includes weighing the organs and comparing it to a known reference range.
For all of our connections, Cosig uses Zoom, a software-based application. It's free to use and easy for you to connect right to us so we can deliver high-quality content to your students. All of these programs include a kit of materials that will extend your learning for your students far beyond that video conference. Additionally, we offer programs in genetic counseling, forensic psychology, and pharmacy, where experts in those fields will assist your students through a day in their life via a case study. Bring the real skills of tomorrow into your classroom today. Our career connections bring experts in fields right to your students. To learn more about these programs or to book one for your students, please visit cosi.org/IVC. Questions can be emailed to us at videoconferencing@cosi.org. We can't wait to connect with your classroom.
Okay, so there we go. That is COSI, and if you're interested in their programming, please reach out to Jordan Rader or just go on the COSI website and they'll be able to give you information about all of their programs, really and cool stuff that's going on. And then let's finish up here with our friends from the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. Lee Gamble is the lead there, and she'd be the one that you would contact. Let me go ahead and run her video, and then we will wrap up. So here
we go. Interactive video conference connects your students live with a museum educator who will guide you through an hour-long STEM-based science adventure. These programs highlight museum collections and research and Ohio's learning standards, while saving you the time and cost of student transportation. Many lessons include real specimens sent to you in advance, turning your classroom into a museum research laboratory. You will receive a teacher's guide for every program that you schedule. The guide includes student worksheets for the program, learning objectives, connections to standards, vocabulary, and suggested extension activities. What do you need in your classroom? A computer connected to the internet, webcam, speakers, and a way to project our image big enough for your entire class to see us. How do you know it's going to work? We'll schedule a test connection with you prior to your program. If you have technical support at your school, we're happy to work with them. Virtual field trips connect you live to our museum scientists in their research areas, and we can also stream walking tours of the entire museum. You can type us questions via the chat feature or send us questions prior to your tour. The best part of our virtual field trips is they allow unlimited participants. If you book a tour, you may invite your entire grade or even the whole school to join in.
Okay, so there's the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. We encourage you to reach out to them if you are interested in their programming. I know their video showed mostly the elementary kids, but they do have programs for middle and high as well. So you'd want to check out their website. They have some great programming going on. And that is it for us today. Thank you very much for joining us for the Ohio Distance Learning Association Content Providers Showcase. Wow, I got through it this time. We appreciate your time, and if you're watching this as a recording, again, you can go to the Ohio Distance Learning Association's website to connect to any of the content providers that are presented today, and we appreciate your time. Thanks, Dave, for the introduction, and we hope that you can take advantage of our programming over this year or next year. Thanks.
Thank you, Tom. Take care, everyone.